What's up, residents? So we have some awesome news for you today. If you've been following the MONSTERVERSE recently, you would know that the only cool thing that we've gotten so far was that little scene that they filmed in Australia that's supposed to take place in Brazil, where something's coming up out of the beach and about to, cause a whole lot of destruction and mayhem. But released just today, we have some official casting news for the new movie, and even more exciting, a potential new synopsis for the movie, which really goes in depth on what the plot of the film is going to be, and I think you're gonna love it. So let's not waste any more time, let's get to it. So we're gonna get to all the cool story stuff in a bit, but let's first start off with the casting news. Now this first one's been a rumor for some time now, but it's officially announced that Dan Stevens will be playing a new character in the next MONSTERVERSE movie. Now there's a lot of question marks that come up with this casting because, first off, we don't know if Alexander Skarsgård is going to show up in this movie again as Nathan Lynn. Dan Stevens here looks a whole lot like Skarsgård, just, mixed with like PewDiePie or something. So let's say that Skarsgård wasn't able to continue his role in this movie, this guy could probably take over for him, although he does look a good bit younger. Or maybe this is Lynn's brother that we heard about, possibly being found somewhere hidden in the Hollow Earth, still alive. He's not dead after all, apparently. Until more comes out on this character, we really can only theorize on who he will be playing, but just by looking at him, he's probably one of the Lin brothers. We also have Fala Chen. Now, she was in the Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings Marvel movie. I never watched the movie, but I heard it was pretty solid, so it'd be nice to kind of get her involved in on this project. And then we have Alex Ferns, an actor that probably you don't recognize his name. It didn't pop up in my mind when I first looked at him. But this guy was in the recent Batman movie that was really praised. And according to his IMDb, he's going to be in the new Andor Star Wars series coming out here in a little bit. We also have Rachel House, a New Zealand actress who was in Moana, Thor Ragnarok, and a whole lot of more kind of underground projects. And now I'm curious if she's going to be playing an Iwi woman in this new movie, or maybe a Hollow Earth ancient civilization person. Now the only reason why I say that is because Kaale, aka Gia, will be once again returning in this movie. Now we know that a lot of people that were cast to play the Iwis were of course of Islander or some sort of Asian descent. And so her character could end up having some sort of connection to Gia, but we don't really know. And I don't want to jump the gun on that one for obvious reasons. And to go along with Kaale, we of course have Rebecca Hall, Miss Eileen Andrews, aka Gia's kind of surrogate mother in Godzilla vs. Kong. Now this next casting reveal is kind of a surprise to me because this character in Godzilla vs. Kong was, well, I don't want to say he was useless because he was the reason how Godzilla and Kong defeated Mechagodzilla, but we also have Brian Tyree Henry, aka Bernie, returning in this new movie. Now there's no word on Millie Bobby Brown or Fire Fist being cast in this new movie, so I'm assuming that maybe this character, Bernie here, is actually going to have his character get a little bit more credit in this next movie and be taken a little bit more serious. I kind of feel like his part in Godzilla vs. Kong would have been a whole lot more entertaining if it was just him, like doing more of that kind of weird conspiracy theory stuff. That kind of fits with the MONSTERVERSE really good. We all remember how good Bryan Cranston's character was in Godzilla 2014. And we don't know if any more of the old cast from Godzilla vs. Kong or any of the prior MONSTERVERSE movies are returning so far. This may be the full list of characters, but I highly doubt it. But let's move on to who's also working on this movie. A lot of the Godzilla vs. Kong team is making a comeback in this new movie. The story is going to be written by Terry Rossio, that's the guy who did Pirates of the Caribbean, and he did Godzilla vs. Kong, so he's kind of returning to continue his MONSTERVERSE story, and he'll have the help of Jeremy Slater and Simon Barrett at his side. Here's another big one. Tom Hulkenberg will be returning to compose the soundtrack for this movie. Now, a lot of people didn't really like his take on the MONSTERVERSE music, because they just, coming off of King of Monsters, that was a really good soundtrack. Everyone kind of just... they didn't really give this one a chance, but I didn't think it was that bad, and I think he'll continue to make really solid music. Maybe it doesn't stand out, maybe it does. I think he'll do better this time, because a lot of the Godzilla vs. Kong music that he made, he already had pre-made just sitting around, and the pandemic messed with all that, so expect a little bit better of a soundtrack. I like the soundtrack though. And together they will all be helping to create this new story, which you've been waiting for. Let's read the supposed synopsis. The latest entry follows up the explosive showdown of Godzilla vs. Kong with an all-new cinematic adventure, pitting the almighty Kong and the fearsome Godzilla against a colossal undiscovered threat hidden within our world, challenging their very existence and our own. The epic new film will delve further into the histories of these titans, their origins, and the mysteries of Skull Island and beyond, while uncovering the mythic battle that helped forge these extraordinary beings and tied them to humankind forever. Like, right? So let's talk about some highlights from all that now. First off, the obvious one here, Godzilla and Kong are going to be working together in this new movie. Now, that's kind of what we all kind of figured after Godzilla vs. Kong, where they both broed out together, killed Mechagodzilla, and then were like, damn son, you did a good job, bro. And then they went their separate ways. So we kind of assumed at that point that they were going to be working together in the future, but we didn't know if Godzilla was going to be making a comeback. But it's very clear that Toho's like, yes, Legendary, keep making us easy money. Just keep doing it, because Godzilla is probably going to be a much bigger role in this movie than originally thought, but let's keep going. And they're going to be pitted against a singular threat who is colossal. Now, colossal means super freaking huge, so that's a good sign. You're gonna have to be a really strong monster for, well, to be able to handle Godzilla and Kong, because they're super amped up now. Kong was he was weak in Godzilla vs. Kong, because he was just sitting around kind of like losing his swagger on Skull Island. And then we know, of course, that Godzilla, wasted all his juice before he even fought Mechagodzilla. So if they're both going to work together on a new monster, this thing's really going to have to be legendary. And that's apparently what it is, because this is an undiscovered monster in the universe. Now that means no one's ever seen it before, so completely new, probably not any sort of returning monster like Ghidorah or anything like that. And they allude to it being hidden in our world for some time now. Now that's telling me that this thing is somewhere hidden in the Hollow Earth, and of course, they're gonna stumble upon it and cause all this craziness to happen. But apparently this thing's so badass that it's going to challenge Titan and human existence. So what does this mean? We don't know. What I want to think is that maybe this new monster is somehow connected to Earth, because if it has the origins of these Titans somehow intertwined with it, we know that the Titans are like hundreds of millions of years old, at least, or something like that at least. They're all over the place in the MONSTERVERSE with their lore, which I guess they're gonna finally be kind of gluing it together some. So I think this new monster, I don't know, I feel like it's gonna be connected to Earth in some way. Whatever that could mean, I don't know. But if it has the ability to challenge Titan and human existence, I'm assuming like the whole Earth is at stake here. Like it's gonna go they're in the core of the Earth. If there's like this super being down there, it's very easily plausible that it could cause Earth to just kind of blow up on itself, I would assume. Nothing's impossible in this universe now, remember that. I think we're all happy for this next part. More history on the Titans and their origins is going to be explored. Makes a whole lot of sense because, recently we made that video where they have it on the little timestamp, whatever the heck you call it thing. They have it to where it's called Origins, so I think this is good. We all want to know where the Titans came from. We want to see more of their world back in the ancient times without humans and modern humanity and all that stuff. So that is going to be super cool, I think. I want to know more about this mythic battle that apparently forged the Titans. Like, how does a battle forge the Titans? Are we going to be getting like some I don't know, like gods versus Titans sort of like battle here, with like the Greek mythology, like where all life was created because the gods and like some crazy stuff like that. I don't really know what that could mean at all, really. So if you have any ideas what this mythic battle that apparently created the Titans was, feel free and go nuts down below in the comments. But whatever this battle was, it apparently tied them to humankind forever, so maybe the Titans aren't as old as we originally thought, because we know humans weren't around 300 million years ago, but maybe this Titan fight, like, created, evolution on Earth, so maybe they're just kind of doing some weird wordplay to where, like, this battle created the Titans, and it also created, like, the little fish thing that eventually, like, humans came from. And maybe saying that we're related to the Titans or something crazy like that. I don't know, but that's the end of the synopsis that we have right now. So Like I said, it's not like super official, but I feel like this is real. Legendary and Warner Brothers just want to act like the MonsterVerse doesn't exist for some reason. I don't know why. I guess they learned from Godzilla vs. Kong if they just don't reveal anything and then they throw the trailer out there that we're all gonna go So I guess that's just what they're gonna keep on doing. Kinda sucks for us, but of course, we're gonna keep on covering everything. And this last little note I thought was pretty cool is that we're gonna be getting some more Mysteries of Skull Island figured out. Now, I like that. We're going back to Skull Island, I hope. Skull Island's really awesome. I feel like Skull Island's like always, it's like a character in its own world, its own way. So it always makes these King Kong movies, regardless of how different that Kong is from the other Kongs, awesome, because at the end of the day, we all just love, you know, fantasy islands that have monsters, you know. That's why Jurassic Park's so popular too. So on that note, everyone, stomp the subscribe button because we're going to start getting more MonsterVerse news, I assume, from here, because, you know, they're finally starting to spread the news, and it's not just the Australian government, and we're going to cover the hell out of everything when it comes out. Don't forget about my new channel called Rippy, where you can see me make more videos like this where I talk about stuff and things. And on that note, everyone, I hope you had a good day. I'll see you in the next one.